Welcome to another episode of Four Kings Podcast. Back like cook crack in the kitchen with the best of the best
of the best
of the bestesses squad gang. See, man, we got our lovely in and out co-host. She's here this week. She's not next week, but she's here. We got Nina Mosley in the building,
aka Carmen Sandiego.
I love that one.
What's up, guys?
We got Jamie Buns in the building.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, to the window.
Yeah.
To the wall.
To the wall.
And then we got my boy Kellen in the building.
You know what I'm saying? The Dad Hat Daddy. Salt and
The
Pepper Poppy.
Dad Hat Daddy. Salt and Pepper Poppy.
If anybody is interested in having Kellen model, hit us up.
All right. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. If it's your first time, remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Get down in the comments. Oh, and let me go ahead and drop the phone number down there so y'all can call in. We welcome phone calls. We welcome anything you trying to offer. We take food stamps, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. Yeah, we doing it all. So yeah, we have a very special guest today. He goes by the name Mr. 21. Can you do something for me? Mr. Paul Lamar Hunter. He is the 19th out of 21 children. So let me get our guest on and we will formally introduce him and then we will go into our spiel. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, thank you. It is a great moment in my life to be on the Four Kings podcast show today. And we are going to have some fun because I am excited about talking about my life story.
Absolutely.
Cool. Because see, I got with Paul, right? So first of all, I got to give a little background information, right? So Paul has been like actively like, hey, you know, I'm down whenever, you know, let's make this happen. And I'll be like, all right, Paul, I got you, Paul. I got you. But we had to find the dates, the time, the space, and everything for it to line up for us to be able to do what we doing now.
And the stars have aligned.
Boy, have they. And I did take my time out to do my due diligence as I always do. Paul comes to us very notarized. He's been on Vivica Fox's show that was not long lasting. Shout out to Vivica Fox. If you saw how she did him, you'd understand why I did what I did right now.
Gotcha.
All I'm gonna say is Miss Vivica don't complete.
Vivica ain't worried about us. She's trying to keep that face from going like this.
Oh,
okay.
Oh Lord, we started early today.
Oh.
We are starting early.
And I found out Vivica related to some people that I noticed. I ain't gonna go there. Like third cousin or something. No.
Family beef.
So anyway, Mr. Paul Lamar Hunter is the 19th out of 21 children out of Racine, Wisconsin. A city I've never heard of before until Paul Lamar Hunter. Let me just throw that out there. Paul's parents were Louise and James Hunter, correct?
Yes.
And they had all 21 kids together.
Wow. That's amazing.
So she spent 15 years with kids, like just
birthing them. That's right.
I don't have anything else to say about that. It's like
I got one kid and I'm just like, man.
I'm amazed. I have two and I'm exhausted.
I got two. And my thing was this. I'm like, so our co-host that couldn't be here today, Ray Bud, me and him were talking about it, and he was like, man, your daddy just ain't believe in pulling out, boy. She had it fine.
But that's amazing. You don't really hear many people extending their family that far anymore. Right. Most people believe in 2 or 3 kids, 4 at the most, and that's where it stops. So, I mean, hats off to your parents. That is an amazing accomplishment. Raising a family that size is it's amazing.
And so, what I will also add is that it's a very interesting dynamic, right? Because I understand the dynamic because my grandmother is like number 16 out of 20.
Oh wow.
And Ray Bud, our co-host that's not here, his dad has 26 kids.
Oh wow.
I'm talking about still going like right now.
Oh.
So yeah.
So y'all have a lot in common.
Exactly. So you know, hey,
So I do have a question. Are there any like sets of twins, triplets, or they're all individual births?
Single births, yeah.
Well, let me say this. My mother birthed 21 children
Wow.
by my father.
Wow.
17 of us living today, 63 grandchildren, and 87 great grandchildren
Wow.
are alive today. It was just one set of twins, and they are no longer here
Wow.
anymore.
Sorry to hear.
Yep, my older sister, she is out in Los Angeles, California. She's 72 years old, and my baby sister is 51 years old. Like the gentleman said, my mother stayed pregnant for 15 straight years.
Wow.
So she has won more championships than Michael Jordan, than Magic Johnson, than Tom Brady, Joe Montana. She has more championships. And I want to emphasize that, yes, my father's pullout game was very, very weak.
So I would say it probably was because your dad was a solid dude from what I gathered, right? He worked two full-time jobs. He left at the crack of dawn and didn't come back till about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And when he came back at night, it was on. So
for sure.
I'm too tired to move.
Two things we know for sure.
Yeah. But you know what? When women find out that my dad, gave all of these children to my mother, they always say to me, "Man, your dad must have had some good dick."
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we can conclude she didn't say no, that's for sure. Right? She didn't turn it down. So, well, what can you tell us? What was it like growing up in a household, of that magnitude?
I have to go back to when my mother was pregnant with the 14th child.
Okay.
And that's my brother, Larry. He's a pastor in Memphis, Tennessee.
Nice.
And one day they got a knock at the door, and it was a sheriff officer came and told my mom and dad that they had 72 hours to vacate because it was too many people living in this house.
Oh.
Mom and dad went to church, and back then the people used to go to church, and then they will have a circle and put you in a circle and lay hands on you. Yep. And that's what they did to my mom and dad, and they was asking God for a miracle to happen. And do you know the next day a miracle did happen because a man came to my parents' home to show them an 18-bedroom house.
Wow.
So the man took my mom and dad to this 18-bedroom home that he had, showed them the home and told them it was yours. But there's one option. You must pay $1 for this home. Right. Mom and dad did not get paid until Friday. They did not have the money. The man went into his wallet and gave my mother the $1 to purchase this home. That's the home that I was born in. That home is a miracle home. That home is a blessing for the Hunter family.
Wow, that's amazing.
So was that the home that caught fire?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the home. Like in that home, mom and dad had to work. Mom worked part-time. Dad works 16 hours a day. So it was ran like a military camp. We had to be up at 5:30 in the morning. We had to make sure that we were at 6:15. We were downstairs sitting at that table eating breakfast. My older siblings were the substitute parents when my dad and mom was absent because they had to work. And so my older siblings became the substitute mom, the substitute dad in the home. But they made sure that we were fed, we had clothes on us, and also they took us to school and they picked us up from school and made sure that we did homework together. So if it wasn't for my older siblings and my mom and dad, I wouldn't be here speaking with you today.
Right.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yes.
And so I was again, I've like listened to a lot of the different platforms that you've been on. I've followed your story to make sure that there was a great deal of preparation done for you to be here today. And so one of the things that I wanted to know, right, is like, how'd you find out about our podcast?
Well, I saw it on Instagram, and so I decided to reach out to you guys on Instagram. I think you guys are doing a tremendous job because we need authentic, real people out there that's telling extraordinary stories that's coming out of the inner city, that's going to encourage people, that's going to give people hope that there is a way out from the inner city. And my story represents that because I'm the first out of 20 siblings to graduate from college. So I give a lot of kids hope. Somebody told me, hey, they told me that I wasn't college material. Did I accept it? I did not accept it. They told me I was a bum, that I was dumb, I was ignorant, I had a speech impediment. Did I accept it? No, I did not accept it. So people that are listening to this story right now, don't accept the negativity. Always receive the positivity if you want to elevate in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So true.
I'm with that.
I love that. And what college did you go to? What college did you graduate from, and what was your studies?
Oh, wait, hold on. I got that. See,
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, wait a minute. Hold on now. Wait.
I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So first of all, Mr. Paul Lamar, Rutgers, he was working at the Chrysler dealership.
Okay.
And the situation came about where they were getting ready to lay people off, so they had to offer you some training. So he elected, this is 2012, he elected to go back to school.
Oh, I see.
He told folks, hey, I ain't college material. Hey, y'all gonna give me that paper. I'll go ahead and go to school. So he went to Upper Iowa University.
Okay.
Yes, Upper Iowa University. It was the year of 2010 when Chrysler engine plant had closed, and I already had my associate's degree, so I decided to take advantage of it, and I took advantage of it. To me, it was a great opportunity because I have to go back and tell this other story. Years prior to working at Chrysler, I was at church, and I did not want to have this bishop pray for me, but I went on up, the preacher, the bishop prayed for me, and he said that you want to go back to college, but you do not have the finances to go back to college. He said that God is going to make a way where your books, your tuition, everything is going to be paid. And believe it, everything was paid because Chrysler engine plant shut down, moved to Mexico. All my tuition, books, everything was paid for. It was nothing but God. Through the company, nothing but God.
Nothing but God. Yeah, amen. Believe it or not, that's how I received my degree, through the company that I was working for, all paid for Verizon, but through God. To your point.
So now we promoting Verizon and Chrysler, right?
No,
so I need some.
That is not a plug for Verizon.
I need y'all to start coming up with the coins. We name dropping.
I'm just saying we have that in common. That's awesome. Yeah.
So my other question is, right, I'm glad you talked about the spiritual aspect. So a lot of times that people talk about big families or families that are often labeled with dysfunction, right? Because to me, when I look at your picture in totality, you have what I would classify as organized chaos, right?
Yes.
Because you had your older siblings who stepped in and kind of offered that parenting role, because I'm very familiar with that because I'm the oldest of 6. And so I know what that's like to, step in and have to do the things that, hey, look, mom, dad said this need to be done.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby.
I
don't know nothing about none of that.
Kim was the oldest one.
Yeah,
she held it down.
She held it down. She did.
So, but yeah, I know what it's like to go through those circumstances. And a lot of times that when you have parents not being around, sometimes, it increases the likelihood of abuse occurring or trauma occurring. And so one of the things that you had stated is that, this was after your father had passed, I believe. And you stated that you had experienced you and your siblings had experienced abuse, right? But more importantly, when you said you have this relationship with the pastor and you talk about that, how did you overcome the spiritual abuse that you mentioned, and then being able to kind of fall back into your Christianity belief?
You know, there was a book that came into my life, and it was Churches That Abuse, and that book has been discontinued. Once I was able to read that book, I learned that the most attack that a person can really overcome is a spiritual attack. So what I had to do as an individual, I had to renew my mind. I began to pray and just read the Bible and surround myself with positive men and women that was going to help me spiritually and academically.
Talk about abuse. I mean, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Like, what sort of spiritual abuse were you experiencing at that time?
Well, the spiritual abuse that I'm talking about is that, you know, God gives us free will. Even though my mother and father attended church, but it was like a force church to force you to worship God. And God does not want any man or any woman to be forced to worship them. And so that's the reason why I talk about spiritual abuse in my book just a little bit, because I believe that no one should be forced to do anything. If you want a relationship with God, it's up to you. I'm not going to force you whatsoever. You make your own decision. God gave everybody free will. But now looking back on it, it made me a better person because I was able to get the help that I needed. And I consider myself a man today that's still on a potter's wheel, trying to learn and grow as an individual.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you also, to double back a little bit, you said that there was a particular pastor you didn't want praying for you. What was the reason for that?
Because I saw his nasty attitude toward women. The guy wanted to sow oaks and different types of women in the church.
So at a young age, you had a lot of wisdom and discernment, even prior to becoming, you know.
Oh, most definitely. I do not knock the churches, but I can say this, that there are some changes that needs to be made in the churches today. There are so many men and women that are hurting today, and they run into the church for refuge. They run into the church for assistance, and the churches are not assisting these men and women in their issues. And the Bible talks about, life issues. Out of life comes life issues. And so men cannot handle life issues, but God can.
Amen.
So I got a question about that then. I love how you said a lot of these churches are not out here helping. So when was that? What year was Harvey? 2019? 2019.
Yeah, it was
2019. No, 2017.
2017.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, 2017 Harvey hit, right? And it's kind of funny how one of the churches that is
a mega church.
A mega church.
Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen.
Well then, let's not be coy.
But then but then irony, right? That situation didn't open the doors, but now you had that situation that just happened where the shooting broke out.
Yes. Yep.
Full circle,
right? I just find that kind of ironic. Out of all the churches in the world, this particular church.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
then they had the money in the wall.
It was a lot of stuff going on with
scandals.
Yeah.
That boy sold a lot of books though.
He sold a lot of books.
Sold a lot of books.
Yeah, he did.
But here's the thing that I want to say is that people make mistakes.
Yeah.
They don't answer to me. One day, he will answer to God.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
He will answer to God.
Yeah. And what's the name of your book?
Oh, the name of my the name of my book is No Love, No Charity: The Success of the 19th Child. But before you go out and purchase my book, I suggest you go out and purchase my mother's book,
Okay.
Love and Charity: The Life Story of Louise Hunter in the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. Now, my mother is extraordinary because she should be mentioned in Black History Month.
Absolutely.
One,
Absolutely.
for giving 21 for birthing 21 children, and another for starting the first homeless shelter in the city of Racine, Wisconsin. The reason why she did that is because somebody helped us. Remember when I told you somebody gave us that 18-bedroom house? That was her aha moment to go out and say, you know what, I got to put together an action plan because somebody helped me and I need to help somebody else.
So she paid it forward. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
What time period was this when the houses were $1?
No, they weren't. So
It was
basically, he
gifted.
gifted it to her.
Oh, okay.
You have to have a bill of sale so you can
Right.
sell
Gotcha.
it.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, how long does this span? Okay. Thank you guys.
So is the shelter still open?
Nope, the shelter got started. Interesting that you said that.
Right.
When the shelter got started, my mother was 3 months pregnant with who? With me,
You.
the
You.
19th child.
That's funny.
So the shelter stayed active for 46 years.
Wow.
46 years it stayed active.
That's amazing.
And
Oh, wow.
what's funny is that I initially on the surface it looked like two things, right? The book, your book and her book. Your book was more or less the sequel to her book, but at the same time, it was almost like a middle finger, mom. I'm hey, no love, no charity. Yeah, 19, I did it. But then when I sit back and I took everything in, right, because your mother passed a few years ago at 85.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, she passed away this month, the 29th.
Okay.
It would be 4 years. It would be 4 years this month.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
on the 29th. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So, but it was a beautiful moment that you were able to kind of put closure on that, and you healed from that because when she transitioned, you were able to make peace with her. And I think you said that was like the first time she said that she loved you, right?
Oh.
Yes, because I remember I was working and I decided to just to call my mom, and because she was living alone, and I called her and I said in my mind that I was going to stay on the phone with her for 15 minutes, and I stayed on the phone with her for 4 hours and 37 minutes. So it was a great conversation, and my mom had asked for forgiveness, and she had told me that she wasn't a perfect mother.
Wow.
And that's the reason why I want to say to people today, your parents are not perfect. Your parents will make mistakes. And I learned over the process is that you have to forgive people. You cannot hold on to resentment, animosity, hatred in your heart, because what affected my mom, she carried it to her grave. My mom used to always say, I cannot tell you guys what happened when I was growing up in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Right.
But my aunt was able to tell us how she witnessed her cousin getting raped by getting caught by the KKK, and how she was able to get away, and how she saw that her other cousin get murdered by the KKK. So my mother experienced a lot of trauma in her life, and that affected her as a parent. And that's why I say you cannot give what you don't have.
Yes.
Right.
Didn't I say that? I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is heartbreaking to hear.
So, was the other funny thing per se would be like if you looked at the fact when you wrote this book, right?
Yes.
All of your siblings did not support you writing this book.
No.
They were like upset with you.
They were very, very upset because in the book I detailed some information that they felt that it should not have been open to the public. But I thank God that it was open to the public because it shared a light on what goes on in big families and what goes on in small families.
Yeah.
So we all have the same issues. And so just because you in a household of 2 or 3 or 4, you still have the exact same problems what's going on in a family of 21.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
I agree.
So, like being the 19th child, like how did you find your voice? Like you in a house full of voices, everybody got something to say, everybody got an opinion. How did you find your voice?
I tell you what, those sisters used to beat the crap out of me. The older sisters, yeah, because growing up, I wasn't a popular kid, you know, and my older siblings will get on me, but get on the young ones. And so I remember the 21st child and the 20th child and me, the 19th child, we made a pact together. We literally made a pact that when we got bigger and stronger, that we were going to beat up our older siblings because the spankings that they gave us and then, you know, telling us that we need to improve on our spelling. We need to improve in reading. We need to improve in writing. They will stay on us. And we made a pact that once we became 18 years old and bigger and stronger, that we were going to beat them up. And when that happened, I reneged on that contract, and my two little sisters still mad at me to this day because we made that pact. I said I can't do it. They are grown and we deserve it. That's what I say. We deserve it.
It made you better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick in that lane with fighting, right? So one of the things I found, the other funny thing I found, right? A lot of people probably didn't fight any of y'all in that town because they knew if they fought one, they had to fight. It wasn't no 1v1. You was gonna catch that fade. It was gonna be jumping.
21.
Hey, I tell you what, the neighborhood that I grew up in the 1970s and 80s, it was an extraordinary neighborhood. We all knew each other. We were a family. We were a community. We loved on each other. We taught each other, and we prayed with each other. I don't see that today. And I remember a time when my mama used to say, "Boy, go knock on Mrs. Jones' door and give her this cup and tell her that we need sugar." You think I can do that today with my neighbor?
No.
So my community,
Depending on where you at.
yeah, but my community is totally different today.
Right.
I miss that. I miss that community because on Sundays, guess who came over after church? Those pastors or the assistant pastors came over, and they would sit. Yeah, they would sit at the table and pray with us, and then they would dig in and pick out. And we sit up there watching the NFL games on a Sunday, and we would just have a good time, authentic conversation. I miss those days. I really do miss those days.
Yeah. Do you think we could ever get back to that point as a community?
We got to work hard. We got to work hard. What's going on today in our society today? If you look in Texas, Wisconsin, California, New York, there's a shift that had happened, and it happened in the 1990s with drugs and alcohol, and now we got mental issues. Now we're dealing with people that's homeless in our community. Back then, we did not have that. We did not have that, and it's going to be a fight. But I believe in my heart we can get the work done.
I agree.
So I'm gonna circle back to the book, right?
Circle back.
Your siblings not really supporting the book. And y'all ended up having a debriefing after that show where I don't know if you got to talk to Dr. Phil. You talked to somebody though, and I think y'all are more or less now on the same page. Kind of funny how on the same page of the book. So y'all are more or less on the same page as far as why you wrote the book and how you ended up kind of doing what you did, right?
Yes. Dr. Phil, he was the executive producer of the show Face the Truth. I had an opportunity to meet him and other producers, Vivica Fox, and I'm gonna let you know. I heard what you said, so when I get this clip, I'm gonna send it over to her. So, but you know, hey, it'll be good publicity for you, buddy.
So
you know, so the show, yeah,
what I said.
But it was extraordinary. The psychologist after the show came and spoke to my siblings one-on-one, also spoke to me one-on-one, and they offer some help, psychological help, mental help. And a lot of my siblings took advantage of that, and I took advantage of that because I feel like this. I'm not perfect myself.
Right.
I'm a very humble guy. So if somebody is going to offer me some assistance to get better, to grow in life, I'm going to take advantage of it. And I was delighted that my siblings took advantage of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that for our community.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, how'd you end up in Texas? Like,
Yeah, you was in San Antonio, right?
like
I'm in San Antonio, Texas, Texas right now.
Right.
How I ended up here is the mother of my children. She decided to move my children down here in 2010 because she was working at Chrysler as well. So she decided to move my children down here, and I stayed until I graduated from college. Once I graduated from college, I'm a father. I love my 4 children. I love my granddaughter. I did what was best for me because I was attached to my children. So I came down here to be with my children. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me because all of my resources was in the city of Racine, Wisconsin. So now I had to build new resources here in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
Nice.
So, brings me to my next question.
I dig that. That's why I'm here too. It's for my baby.
What?
That's why I'm back to
Texas?
Houston. Yeah, because for my baby.
So what happened, Paul, with you and the missus? You said y'all had 4 kids together, but there was no marriage, there was no divorce, there was no, so like kind of walk us through that.
Well, I was with the mother of my, I have 3 children with the mother of my children that's here, and I have one with another woman. But things just fell apart. She was giving something to end the relationship. I'm gonna say that she was giving something to end the relationship. So she decided to take this material thing over a relationship with me. And so when you have your outside father that has money and believe that if I can break up this relationship, that it would be best for her. But it wasn't best for her because I remember having a conversation with her and she told me, she said, Paul, I would give all of this material things back to have a relationship with you because I was good to her, but I was good to my children. You understand? And I love my children. My father died when I was 8 years old. Right. And I remember telling myself that when I start to have children, I'm going to do whatever I can to be with my children, to take my children to school, to teach my kids how to write and spell and be their basketball coach and be their football coach. I did all of those things. But it's a decision that she made, and to this day, she's living with it. She's married. I'm glad that she's been happily married for the last 15 years because now she's off my back, so I don't have to deal with her. You know,
I mean, that dude ease up the child support when they get married. Now, like, wait a minute, she got some extra money over there.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad that you brought up child support because no offense to men and women that's on child support. But I have to say this since you brought it up. Child support is unconstitutional. So I always advise people to read the case law, Blessing versus Freestyle, U.S. versus Stage, and Rehunt versus Ledbetter. Those are
in Arizona. They sued the state because they
sued the state. They sued the state, and I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm glad that you brought that up because I was on child support, and they told me that I owed $57,000. That's what they said. When I started to file those affidavits in motion, all the $57,000 disappeared. So what I discovered, it was fraud on the state, and I discovered the characters that was behind the child support. So if you are in the state of Texas, Abbott is the guy that reviews the government program. The Attorney General, Ken Paxton, here in San Antonio, Texas, he's approved the child support program. So for each dollar that is paid into child support, the federal government gives the state $5.
Yeah. It's not for the benefit of the child, like they say it is for the benefit of the state. Some of the money goes towards the retirement of the judges' funds and stuff like that, and it's super nefarious. It's wild.
Yes. So all women needs to know this. All women needs to know this. It's not an attack on women. That when you have a son, listen to me very closely. When you have a son, the day you give birth to that son, the day your son is registered into the child support program. Women do not know that. Men do not know that. They just don't know that. They do not tell you that. But if you go and look at the child support program, it is there in black and white for you to read it.
That's insane. You know, I have 2 children, but I was lucky enough to have co-parenting where we don't have to go through courts and things like that for child support. But I think that topics like these need awareness, because I think if more women knew that, you know, they would use other resources. I think it's looked at as predatory on women's behalf, and some it could be, but some just aren't educated on the topic that the money is not going to the use that is, you know, supposed to be going to.
They bust it down. Yeah. So like you don't get all the money that they take out of the check. You just see what you get, but they take out way more.
A lot of women don't know that though.
Yeah, it's wild. But like some women, it's like, okay, I understand why you have them on child support, because you ain't gonna get nothing from them.
Yes, I've seen that too.
That's foul.
I've seen women not receive any support. In fact, I've seen women who do not receive support because the ex-husband or the father is upset that she's left and has decided to, you know, punish her by means of financial abuse. So
that's why.
And let me say this about child support, and I want y'all to understand this: child support is not law.
Right.
They put it in your head. It's an illusion. It's law. It's law. It's not law. Child support is a statute. If you look up the word statute, it would tell you it's a rule and regulation that requires your consent. So when a male goes to court, it says this in their federal program. When you are summoned to go to child support court, the child support prosecutor or the attorney supposed to tell you immediately that this is a voluntary court hearing. If they would have told me that, guess what? I would have turned around and walked on out.
Right.
Oh, that's it? I'm gonna holler at y'all.
And so when you dealing with child support, I tell women all the time, child support is public. They trying to embarrass the male, or they trying to embarrass the female. What do politicians say when there's a crisis in their home between the wife and the husband, or the daughter and the son? They say this is a private matter.
Yep.
So you men and women needs to understand it's a private matter between you and that woman, and you two can work it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, I will say this, you know, once, you know, certain things happened between my co-parent and I noticed that the funds did slow up, you know, given that there is no court order. And so I just have to eat that. But, you know, my thing is I'm financially in a spot where I can, you know, care for myself and my grown 2 children. So I don't really try to get through the courts, you know, to go after extra money, because I'm not that doesn't matter to me. But I will say women need to check state to state, because I think the statutes are different state to state, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they
But
are.
another thing that I want to mention is if women are listening to this interview, and also guys, do not contract with that agency. That agency, child support, sits on the stock market and makes money off of people. Also, you need to have a written agreement between you and that male. So if that male decided not to pay, you have the opportunity, the right to take him to court, and it can be enforced.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Amen. Yeah. I mean, it needs to happen. Everybody needs to be accountable.
Right.
So
Yes.
It's hard business raising kids. My daughter is 21. My son is 17. He graduates this year. He's going to college. He's college bound. I mean, you just can't skip out on the most important parts of the kids' lives.
Yeah.
Agreed.
My baby's 2, but she gets whatever she wants. And my co-parent, if she needs something, she can just ask me. Even if she wants something, I still might give it to her.
That's nice. I mean, because she still has to be in a good mental state to raise your kid.
I mean, I only get my kid on the weekends, and I know that she's not necessarily the easiest child to navigate. She has a lot of energy, high energy kid. So
Parenting is hard business.
First of all, any child under the age of 6 gonna have all this energy anyway.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen no super cool laid back kid under the age of 6.
No.
They are like hyper all the time.
Yeah.
And everything is like overly animated. You could be talking to them and they're like,
Right.
stop it. All right. So
what's the dynamic of your children? You got how many boys, how many girls?
Good question.
I have two daughters, 30 years old. I have one 27. I have a son that's 25, and I have a son that's 19, and my granddaughter is 5 years old.
Nice.
Full of energy, just
Full of
runs
energy.
me crazy.
What does your granddaughter call you? She call you Pawpaw, or she call you Granddad?
Oh, she called me Grandpa Paul.
Grandpa
Paul.
Okay,
Gotcha.
I like that.
That's cute.
So the play you like,
Oh,
where are we
yeah.
at in the process of this play? Because it's been in the works like about at least 3 years.
Well, the screenplay has been completed by Tailflick. Now they in the last phase of getting all the characters together. Who's going to play my mom? Who's going to play me? Who's going to play my siblings? You know, the different roles. And so I'm just delighted because they're going to bring me on as an executive producer.
Nice.
You know, and Kendall Bourne tell the story, I feel, like me and some of my siblings, because we are the ones that live through the rejection, that live through all of the mistakes that my mom and dad had made, but we never complained. We never use any excuses. So can nobody tell the story like us?
Yeah.
Right.
Very
Totally.
I can't wait to watch it.
Because
I can't wait to watch.
They were supposed to be shopping at the like Netflix, Hulu. Who else was it? It was a couple other ones.
So we have time to read the book before the play comes out.
Before the movie comes out, you have ample time to move. The book is at Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles. You can pick it up at any bookstore, and I guarantee you that this book will change your life. And I really need men and women to go out and get this book, because it's really going to impact your life. It's detailed information into the Hunter family life, because I tell people all the time that I come from a big family. Yes, a lot of my siblings had experienced drugs and alcohol abuse, and now they are cleaned up because, you know, people make mistakes. Mistakes. And so I don't judge my brothers and sisters, because you know what? I make mistakes myself. You understand? So I can't judge anybody whatsoever. You know, I just been able to learn from their mistakes and learn from their failures, because, you know, I don't do any drugs and alcohol whatsoever, but, you know, it's just never been my thing. I like to, you know, read and write and get in the gym and work out and take care of my body. That's what I like to do.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
We call that the bump your head method. It's like you bumped your head, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, I'm gonna add both your mom's book and your book to my book club rotation. So, I'll make sure to give a review and everything like that once I finish it. But I look forward to it. It seems like you've been gifted with the gift of transparency. So I appreciate that because it does help heal the community.
Yep. And also, in 2025 of July, I will be bringing out my book. I'm Pregnant and Child Support is the Father. That one is coming out in July of 2023.
Wow.
I'll add that to the rotation as well.
I was going to ask, like this book has been like, you've been circulating this book for like the last probably 6 years for sure. And I was like, so when's the next one dropping? But
yeah. That one is coming out in July of 2025, but also on Valentine's Day of next year of 2025, I have another one coming out titled "Why Women Stay in Bad Relationships." So I was able to,
he couldn't even get the button right on that
one. All right.
So that book right there is going to talk about why women stay in bad relationships. So I was able to sit down with renowned psychologists and get some facts, get some detailed information, and just want to put it together. And hopefully, men and women can learn from the book and say, you know what, I can't make these mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what? And he fed right into the next point. God damn it. So we were having a discussion amongst ourselves earlier this week, right? Desi Banks just did an interview with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, right?
Yes.
And he was talking about how his old lady basically quit on him right before he made it. And so I was like, we were all split, right? It's like, how long do you wait on somebody's potential to for somebody to reach their potential, right? Before you turn around and throw the towel in. And like you said with the book, like, why women stay in some of these bad relationships. Well, to me, he felt like that was the woman he wanted to marry. And so he was looking for somebody to hold him down. And if she would have stayed the course just a little bit longer, she might have been able to receive the fruits of his labor. And the only thing that I have to really tie that in to be like a visual example would be like the movie Acrimony, right? She stayed with the guy. She made the money. She was getting ready to leave. And she finally, you said, I'm done with it. And his thing finally took off after years. And then he finally gave her here goes the keys to your house back. Here goes the money. I appreciate you all the years. You have a blessed life. And it's like, how long is too long? And I think, Nina can talk a little bit more about that because she was
throw me under the bus.
Of course,
why don't you?
You had the strongest perspective on it. So of course I want you to talk about this.
I can talk about it. So my stance on the situation is, like you said, why women stay in bad relationships. What I know about women to be true, women will stay with a man that they love. Women will stay in situations and work through certain things if they feel like they need to be there. My thought on the matter is, if she left before he was able to make that transition into the life that he was manifesting for himself, that means that she wasn't supposed to be there. That means that there might have been other things that weren't firing correctly for her to make that relationship worth staying and investing and, holding him down, because she's not required to. She wasn't married to him. So she made a decision as a woman to walk away from the situation because it seemed like they may have been in a codependent relationship. It's my view. If it was a healthy relationship and they both are pursuing their life's passions, both are pursuing their careers and everything individually, and then they all fire off at different times, but you're still together in this healthy dynamic, I don't see a reason to break up. Does that make sense? Or what are your thoughts as a man on that?
Well, here's my thoughts. I've been in several relationships, and so I can recall that I wanted this woman so bad. I wanted her to be my wife. I thought she was my ride and die, but she gave up. And success does not happen on other people's timetable. It happens when God say it is time for your success. So, I don't feel bad for the woman at all because she made that decision to walk out, and when I see her, I give her that church wave. And I keep it pushing. I'm 53 years old, so I figure I tell my kids all the time, all my wealth is going to my kids and my grandchildren. Yeah. So I don't want to get married. I'm honest with women, and every woman that I had a relationship with, I cheated on. And so
there we go.
That's it. Give me
but
oh man, damn man.
We was doing good. I'm about to get you now. I'm coming for that neck now, boy. I can't let that go. Why I do.
I am an honest guy. That's the fact. I tell women that. You can't change a man.
No, you can't.
You just can't. I can't change a woman. I just can't. But I tell you what, I had some good women in my life, but these good women, guess what they wanted me to do? They wanted me to pay. They wanted me to marry them, but if I married them, they weren't going to work anymore. I was going to be the provider. I had to take care of the car notes. I had to pay the mortgage. What are you going to do? I'm going to look pretty, cook, clean, and go to the gym so I can have a perfect body. No, that ain't getting it, baby. You got to bring something to the table. You just not going to be out there just spending money. And I'm being honest with you. I've been hurt before with many of women, but it was good to be hurt because now I know what I am attracted to. I don't want no woman trying to use me just for finances. I do not want that. For example, I had a woman that I was messing around with a year ago, and I thought we were in a relationship. I really thought we were in a relationship. I did not cheat on her.
Okay.
But she used to ask me for a little bit of money.
There you go. Sugar daddy season.
Yeah, but she worked. She would say, hey, can you take my son to go get his hair cut? Hey, all right, I pay the $25. I don't have a problem with that. You understand?
Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Shout out to the $25 haircut.
R.I.P. to the $25.
Yeah, that's gonna be $75.
I didn't have a problem with going out to eat with her and paying the bills. Paying the food bill. I didn't have a problem with that. The only time I had a problem with is she had asked me for some money so she can go out and get some groceries from the store, food from the store. I did it twice. The third time I was over at her apartment, I told her no. And I walked out, got in the car, and was driving to go get something to eat. My intuition told me, turn around. I turned back around, went to her apartment. I saw that her car wasn't present. So I waited for her. She came back 25 minutes later, opened up that trunk. What did she have?
Groceries.
Yeah. And so that moment, I said to her, I see what you are about. You about yourself. You ain't about no real relationship whatsoever. So my vision of some women, has changed because now I step back and I say, okay, let me see what type of woman this is. So now when I go out with women, okay, let's split the bill. Oh, what? Split the bill? You a man and you a woman. Let's split the bill.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my tongue because
Kelly, who wants to go? Who first?
You got it.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
You got it, Kelly.
I don't be tripping on if she's gonna work out and be fine and cook, as long as she cooks well and looks good, then she don't have to go to work.
She got to do two other things too now.
But
Would that rhyme with luck?
Yeah, both of them do.
Both of them do.
Both of them do. But yeah, I mean that's not a big deal. Even at the most I would actually ever want somebody to do is like 20%, like 80-20. Like if you can take care of like your little bitty like things that I don't really have to worry about, I don't care. But like if it depends on her bills too. Like her bills are like outlandish, I get it. But like it's like it's like that's part of the gig. That's why you got to dig for that reason. Like you got to take care of stuff.
Jamie,
come on, Jamie,
Yeah.
come on, cause she over there shaking her head.
we going half on these bills.
Oh, see, no.
If
Oh,
we live
because,
together, we gonna go half.
Here's
on
my
these
thing,
bills.
right? I don't want your employer to tell you what to do, and then you have to think about when I tell you what to do. Like I don't like that. So it's
you
like,
want to be in sole control.
Not in that, but like if you're gonna listen to this guy because he pays you, then I'll just pay you. Just listen to me.
No,
I don't see the difference in that.
I mean, that's
and
fair.
if we're in a real relationship, and there are times where I have to be your backbone versus you have to be mine, then that's fine. But I'm not about to sit at home and okay, I'll just cook clean. Hell no.
And be ready to do it as soon as I come in.
Something that I want to do.
Had a moo on for me. You know what I'm saying?
It might be something that I want to go out to do, but I don't have the money for it. I don't work, so now I got to come to you and ask for it. That's basically giving me an allowance.
Too much control. I don't like the idea.
But I mean, you'll have control. You can have access to the account. It's not like I'm going to take it away from you. Like I'll be one band, one sign, one account.
I'm so glad we're friends because I
would. Okay, I have a question.
I would max out your
Hold on.
That's fine.
Because it's strange to me to hear you say that because from what I've understood about men want to be providers, and so usually a man will take a provider role, whether that is emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically, whatever. So to hear you so strong about the financial part of it, I guess my question would be, and then you're already saying that you don't want to be married. So a woman doesn't have that. She doesn't even have the opportunity to be in a household with you and have you provide and things like that because you don't want to be married. You don't want to combine assets. You don't want to share resources. So my question is that a trauma response that you don't want to share, provide for a woman financially, or do you make up for that by providing in other ways? Can you give us some more information on that?
I can say this, that I have been burned so many times.
It's a trauma response.
Yes. And so, for example, and I'm not going to bring the person name up.
Oh, Lord,
but I was involved and then in this car accident. So I got a settlement because we were a family. So once I got the settlement, because we were living together, we were a family, I gave her half. And
hell no.
Listen. I gave her half. Oh, she was all happy. I took the other half. Years forward, this individual went to the casino, won $287,000. Let me say that again. She won $287,000, and we're living together.
She gave you back your half, huh?
The question that I have for you two ladies. Okay. Do you think that woman gave me half of that money? Do you think that woman told me?
No.
Oh, wow. That's betrayal.
Never told me, never gave me none of the money.
Okay. I mean, that is betrayal, because you live in the same home. But my question is, withholding information is betrayal. Withholding information, that's deceitful. It's on the verge of lying. Or omission. It is lying.
It's a little omission.
Omission is lying. Lying is omission. Okay, so but my question is, because I feel like at some point you will have to make peace with the fact that, and you said this, you said you have to forgive people, you have to, whatever, that whole thing, because there are some women who don't want a man to take care of them financially, myself being one of them. I'm fortunate enough to have a great career in training and development. I work in HR and I can afford my lifestyle and my two grown kids. So I don't necessarily need a man's financial support or provision. But if I have a man, the expectation there is that he is the leader, he is the provider. So I'm not understanding how a man can lead if he's not willing to be a provider.
Well, I tell you what, I am a leader and I am a provider. And I only provide for those 4 grown kids right now, just in case they need anything. But they have their own careers, but I'm just saving up for them because one day Paul Lamar Hunter has to leave this world. So all of my asset, all of my wealth is going to those 4 children in that grandchild, and that's it. But
Well, it's strange.
I don't want to get married. That's just the way I am. And I'm staying like that. You know, I came in this world by myself. I'm gonna leave this world by myself. I see a lot.
Taking somebody with you.
I see a lot. I see a lot of marriages fail because of finances, because they're not on the same page. I got a friend right now that when his father passed away, left him $500,000. He divided that up with his wife. Then when his wife mother passed away, she didn't give him anything.
Wow.
And she told him, hey, you were a fool to give it to me. So I'm like, okay.
So a lot has been said, and I gotta jump in here and with my fishing pole, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So first of all, I addressed the comments, right? So AT Quell in the comments, shout out. Never do anything that's not in your heart to do. If I do something, if I lose money, the only thing I lose, my peace of mind, is more important.
Right.
And these things should be discussed before you get in a relationship. Okay, all that sounds great and that's cool. I'm with you, Paul, to a degree. Like when you get ready to say
which part, the infidelities or the financial?
This woman's still talking about those infidelities.
Cheating is like her number one hang up. Like
number one.
We have talked extensively.
I mean, that is betrayal. So you are upset about a financial betrayal, but that is a emotional betrayal.
Call. I can even give it up. We got a call now. Hold on.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying them.
4 Kings.
That's what my coach said.
They hung up. I wanted to know who they was calling
I'm not a cheater though.
So look, my
Mm-hmm.
thing was I agreed with him about at least being somewhat reserved in your finances, right? Because a lot of women will take a free meal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You'll pay for the lunch, dinner, or whatever, right? And then they'll place an extra order and that be to go. So I'm eat this for lunch tomorrow, or it be that dude that's waiting on them back at the crib.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Hold on, 4 Kings Podcast. Who we got? 4 Kings Podcast. Who we got?
Yeah, this is AT Quill. I was in the comments.
Yes, sir. What's going on, boss?
How's it going, man? So I was just kind of responding to what you guys were talking about. To give you a little background, I'm 32 years old. I've been married for about 5 years. I've been with my wife.
He in a bad area.
There's a big. Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got you.
We got you.
Well, it went out again.
Yeah, it went out again. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been with my wife.
Nope.
We
I'm
got
on the edge of my seat.
Marriage and what we view as marriage or whatever. So the thing is, I got married fairly young. I got married for the wrong reasons because I think the church teaches us wrong about what it is and what it's not. So we do it out of some sort of obligation that we feel like it's the right thing to do, and not understanding that you make a commitment to people.
Okay.
It's a long-term decision, and the thing is, legal marriage is not what the Bible describes.
Hello. Come on now.
Legal marriage involves the government, which is almost like you're putting a gun to someone's head and saying you have to do this.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that we have to reevaluate this, because when we think about this thing about marriage, the only thing we're sitting here thinking about is a piece of paper and a ceremony. We're not thinking about the long-term effects that these decisions have, and that it involves you saying, I'm going to do this for this person. And I don't even really agree with the vows that they have us repeat during the ceremony.
Hey, AT, I got one quick interjection. I've always found this funny here recently, right? When I started really going down those vows, since you said that, right? In the vows of marriage, it never says not to cheat.
Wow. I mean, you do have the option to write your own if you're not.
I'm just saying.
If you're not satisfied with the standard, but anyway, proceed.
So I think the thing is, even when it comes down to cheating, I think all of that comes down to what you agree upon within your relationship.
True.
What that actually means. Because we got this thing, some people think cheating is, oh, you can't watch pornography because that's cheating. Or cheating
that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
You can't talk to someone on if you're texting someone on the internet, then it's cheating. And it's like everyone's level of cheating is everyone's level, because I only say that is because what did you agree upon in the relationship?
Right.
Because that's all a marriage is what you're agreeing to do for another person.
Yes.
I like
so
that.
You have to figure out it's trying to always throw this thing of marriage on someone. Figure out what it is and figure out what that person wants, because a lot of people, even people's definition of love, is selfish. Because a lot of people feel like because I love you, you should love me. No, those are your feelings. You love that person.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make people obligated to our feelings and not to be an adult and have control over what we think and feel.
I agree. Right. But that's why, again, these are all agreements. And as much as we would like to try and get away from the legal aspects of it, everything that we have on this earth is legal bound. So you have to adhere to laws and legalities across the board. And so if this is one of the aspects that you have to be adhering to a legal contract, then how is that any different from a financial contract with your business or at your job or contract work that you might be doing separately? You have to have those agreements in writing in order for it to be honored and legal and binding. But you also have to agree upon the terms. You can write your own vows if you don't like the vows as they come.
Well, yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying, there's a lot that comes with legal marriage.
Yeah.
That's really not in favor of the man.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, absolutely. Let's talk about that. In which way?
What? Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on.
That's 100% a fact.
Yeah.
When you're talking about having to split up assets, it's usually going to be the man. Even if there's very rare cases that the woman actually even if the woman has more assets, they still come to man's assets first.
And do you know if you end up complicating the situation with a child, in most states they will automatically defer to making the father the non-custodial parent.
Yeah.
So then we have prenuptials.
I mean,
that's not 100%.
Yeah, that's not 100%.
Broken very easily.
Yeah, I can say that I love this person and I signed this under duress because I felt like if I didn't sign it, then they wouldn't get married. So now let's throw that out, get a good lawyer, rip that up.
I mean, I agree that there needs to be some revisions, but all in all, the idea of contracts and legal binding documents, that's across the board.
I know it sounds crazy because I'm going through a divorce right now, but
that's across the board.
I'm definitely going to get married again.
And I guess I'm confused because I've never saw a generation that is, as men, so opposed to being the leader in said case, the provider.
So this is what. I'm sorry. This is why I'm saying this because. I'm not speaking against someone getting married. I'm speaking for people to be informed about what you're signing up for.
Enlightenment.
Because
gotcha.
Because what's going on is that we're just being told you're going to become a better person if you get married, and that's more or less what's being taught. What's being taught, and especially in the Black church. Because a lot of what people do, and especially in the church, is like it's do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
kids out of wedlock and made a bunch of mistakes, and they're just telling you not to do something and can't tell you why. Can't explain anything to you. Can't tell you why they have interest and just expect you to do something. I'm a person of information. We live in the age of information, so there's no excuse for anyone not to be informed on why they do something and not do it because it's the right thing to do or the popular thing to do or because I'll get lots of likes on Facebook or because I'll have a big ceremony.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
Absolutely. I agree. I believe that you should be totally enlightened before you enter into a marriage contract, because after all, it is a contract. And so I think that everyone needs to be more aware of what marriage is and what it means, both on a spiritual and a 3D level, because you have two aspects happening here, spirituality, and you have the physical earthly plane that you have to unfortunately, we all have to honor that we are here on earth. So that, you know, there are contracts that we have to have. I mean, that's what it is.
And even if you don't go the traditional way, a lot of states got common law marriage.
Common law marriage, yeah.
So you fuck around and them laws
that's a nightmare.
And no one talks about spiritual marriage. There is such thing as spiritual unions that don't go on papers, but
that's what he was
yeah,
talking about.
there are ramifications for that too. No one's really enlightened about that, how that works. How do you dissolve a spiritual union? There's a lot to marriage and sex that most people don't even acknowledge. Sex is way more than humping around on each other.
I'm telling it to too many people.
But look at what we're promoting though. For the most part, when we recognize a relationship, most people don't even have a talk about relationships. They normally are in a relationship. They're constantly having sex with someone.
Yeah,
True.
It's normally not. Oh, you're like back in the day, like you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, we're together, and all this other stuff. It's normally after I don't slept with you a couple of times, and I love what I'm getting from you.
Well,
that we recognize a relationship.
Not all people enter into terms that way.
This
I would say
relationship
my relationship currently was not entered in on those grounds.
Yes.
Actually, we didn't even have sex until we had a relationship. But I agree with what you're saying. A lot of people mistake lust for love, and they enter into these facades of a relationship, and when they fail or bring them financial ruin, then they say, oh, I don't want a relationship, I don't want a marriage. No, you need to stop humping on people.
This is what we talk about. This is where we talk about properly vetting, right? And so again, AT, we appreciate you calling, bro, but we got to
bring AT on the show. I need to talk to
you. I appreciate you letting me up, man.
And what I was gonna say is, because we don't really get a lot of people that, you know, we starting to pick up on calls, but like, where you from, bro?
I'm originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
But I moved to West. I'm living in Green now. I've been here for about 3 years.
You living in where? Greenspoint?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh,
Wisconsin.
So this is the people
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Hey, you drink beer?
No, not really, man.
Okay.
I'm not big on alcohol, or I'm a natural high type person.
That's what's up.
Because they have the new Glades out there, and they have this stuff called, I think it's Fat Cow. That's the best beer I ever had in my life. And,
wow.
and they can't sell them outside of Wisconsin.
Oh,
Gotcha.
wow.
Yeah.
We
So
appreciate your call, though.
we appreciate your
Yeah,
call.
appreciate the call, brother.
Lock in with us, bro. We'll be on Wednesday, 7:30. We
Okay.
love to have some more
Follow the
questions
show on
and
YouTube.
comments. Follow us on YouTube,
Yes,
Facebook,
sir.
and everywhere.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, all that. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You guys have a great one.
You too.
So that one of Paul people right there out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Paul, you had that man call in.
So the point that I was trying to get to, right, is that Paul unpacked quite a bit, and then we ping.
He did.
Right?
It was a great conversation.
So what I will say is that what I'll say is that he said a lot, and I agreed with to the point about you have to be a little bit more reserved when you are spending your money.
Agreed.
Right?
I agree.
Because a lot of women will take that free meal. A lot
Absolutely.
of women will, you know, it's almost like, I think we've cracked a bunch of jokes, right? It's like, let me get your number. Yeah, so I need. My gas tank kind of low. My phone bill due. Anytime you look up, they need some money. So it's it makes you a little bit more apprehensive when you're dealing with them, right?
I done paid some cell phone bills now.
See,
I mean, I agree. As a man, you shouldn't lead with your wallet. You shouldn't lead with your wallet for sure.
Better, friend.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a cell phone bill.
I agree with that part.
But what I would say is that you do have to be like. For me, I've always looked to see if a woman is really interested before I really start to try to spend that type of money, right?
Okay.
So if she's willing to agree to Dutch, maybe like the first time or second time, then I'm like, okay, she's really interested. I don't mind paying moving forward. You ain't just out here for a free meal.
Mm-hmm.
Or tickle my fancy. I got it. Don't worry about. Oh, so this you really here for me. So it makes a difference. But it's certain things that you go through life, you learn, and you be like, I ain't doing that again. Yeah. We all done signed up and had the little girlfriend, boyfriend on our cell phone playing, thinking it was cute. We're gonna be together forever, and then it just blows up, and it's just like the worst thing you could ever do.
I've never done that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've never joined assets with anyone other than my co-parents.
I have, and when I seen what he was doing, disconnect that line.
So what I would say is that I don't have any issues with being a provider, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have any, but you also have to be able to understand the social and economic climate we're in right now, and that it's not a lot of men making 6 and 7 figures, right? And especially when you talk about if women want to be with a black man, shit, we make up an even smaller percentage of that population. I think it's like less than 10%.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not gonna find a man that makes 6 figures. So by all means, if a woman wants to make money and help contribute to the household, I 100% am going to allow it. So
I think women should. I think we should, because you need to be able to have a voice at the table.
But that's the other part, because
if that's your choice though, like, but I mean, if you don't want to work, you don't have to work.
Because
that's you.
Yeah. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you to come home complaining about your job and talk about like, oh, I hate this person, because then I enjoy the stories, but then like if I feel a certain kind of way about something that somebody said or somebody did, then I might have to act on that.
Okay, but then that's where you can come in that conversation.
So I'd rather not have that at all.
No, but if she wants to tell you how her day went and it wasn't good, okay, listen and then be like, so how can I make it better for you?
Yeah,
right,
I'm like the dad off of Everybody Hates Chris. And my man, I don't gotta take this. My man got 2 jobs. Like, every girl I've never been with and quit all her jobs. She's just like, I ain't gotta worry about this. My man got it. I'll be like, yeah.
I think some women are predatory though for finances. I think that men should be prudent and should vet women according to what their agreements will be and their standards will be. I don't disagree with that at all. I think men and women are predatory on both sides for different reasons. So if a man's main issue is that a woman is, women are financially predatory, then by all means protect yourself. And so women should also understand that men are predatory behind sex. So we have to protect ourselves. I don't disagree with, protecting yourself as you should. As you should.
Sake bombs on Nina after this.
I don't know about that. I just pay bills.
You good? You got it. Nah, but I agree.
I'll get one round.
So what I will say, Paul, is that and this is one of the things that happens with people as they get older, right? They get more set in their ways.
Absolutely.
So it's like, this is how I view it. This is what's going on, and ain't nobody gonna change. You either get with it or you get gone.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it's gonna be a woman that come along, and she willing to do the Paul Lamar Hunter program.
Yeah.
And she go, I'll work, I'll pay some bills. But the other part about that is, remember, that meme that is forever gonna live rent free in my head, and I post it every now and then. At least once or twice a year. If she make over $20 an hour, you ain't gonna be able to tell her shit. So I'm just telling you now, it's gonna come with a little back and forth.
Do you find that when in the women that you date, Paul, that if women, have a bag themselves, they're more less likely cooperative, I guess you would say.
That's a great
Less
word
cooperative.
choice. Yes.
I love women that have the bag because I have the bag, and we can bring it together, and we can flourish. Come with some ideals and make more money.
Yeah.
But if you don't have no ideals, you don't have no ambition, you're not bringing anything to the table.
Cute?
You can be cute.
I'll just play it.
You can be cute.
I'm sorry.
You can be cute, have a nice body, but you need some brains.
Yeah.
You need a mind.
Totally.
I don't care about your body. I just don't care about your body.
Personality count.
You missed that whole. So in his defense, you missed that episode where he was running talking about he'll take a strong.
No, I
strong
remember
8.
that one.
Strong. What was strong 7?
An adjustable 6.
Adjustable 6. That's what it was.
What does that mean?
Adjustable 6.
Adjustable 6 is like, you could be a 6 with, like, let's say you wake up in the morning, you ain't got nothing in your face, you're a 5. But then you get all gussied up, you all night, you're a 7.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're an adjustable 6.
Just flexible. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
She gonna be anywhere from 5 to 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that okay for you, Paul? Are you good with a flexible 6, or how does that work for you?
Adjustable 6.
Adjustable
Man.
6.
I am a winner, so I have to have me a 10 because I like to win.
Yeah, I don't know too many 10s in the wild. I'm hard on them. You know what I'm saying? I can't give nobody a 10.
He don't even give Beyonce a 10.
Nah, but she.
Oh, for real? Yeah, she's
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like Beyonce. I would have to give her a 10. I would have to give her a 10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 is perfect though. Like you ain't got nothing wrong with you. Like your eyes not too a little bit far apart, your forehead not kind of big. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 10 is perfect. I don't give out 10s. Now my little Shippy Doobie right now, she 8.5 with crust in the eye. But, you know what I'm saying? She ain't no 10.
Strong number.
She's beautiful. But she ain't no 10 though.
Look here, I'm just gonna say this. She might not be a 10 for everybody else, but she could be a 10 for you, and that's all that really matters.
That's all that matters.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
agree.
I've had my share.
Lord.
I've
That twinkle in your eye.
I've had 9s and 10s, and I've had gremlins. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've had the spectrum. Yeah, I've had the spectrum. So my thing is like, I just want you. Oh, how you gonna like be an asset to my life outside of money? Because I don't care about that. Like, don't be destitute. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can have something, but like, I don't care about that.
That's
boy,
important.
if she fly me out.
I've been flown out before actually.
If she fly me out.
I had a girl fly me out to Andorra. It used to be it used to be a principality in between Spain and France. It's like a shopping country. They have their own their independence now. But she flew me out there, and she was from a well-to-do family. And I remember I was tired, and she was like, "Well, let's go shopping. Let's go do this." I was like, "Well, baby, I'm tired. I don't want to do nothing." She was like, "You're not a person in property. Like, I paid for all this, and you're gonna do what I say you're gonna do. I'm gonna leave you out here."
Whoa.
And I did what I had to do the whole trip. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I got back here, I'm gone. Stop. I never talked to her again.
But rightfully so. You done got flued out.
Right.
You're supposed to get flued out. You're supposed to chew out. You're supposed to get blue eyed. You're supposed to all it. And then going on my flight ready. So I can go. As soon as you get on that thing, change the number, disconnect, all of it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
She was doing too
based
much.
Based on that kind of behavior, though.
City Boys up.
She was doing too much.
City Boys up 10,000 points.
She was just like, "You ain't never been there?" I was like, "No, I've never been there." She was like, "Well, let's go. Let's have some fun."
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah. She did me dirty though. She did. She acted
terrible.
a fool. And then,
Ladies, we gotta do better.
She got possessive when we got back. She was just like, "How dare you stop talking to me?" And
oh no.
I'm already back now. Hey,
then she had a daddy call me and apologize to me. And she told me the daddy was like, "It's my fault because her mom died when she was young and I spoiled her and she don't know how to."
No. Womp womp.
What's going on, Kim folk? I see you in the comment.
Yeah.
Well, we can go on and on and on, but we got to get to this planning meeting we got.
Yeah.
Paul, we will definitely be reaching out, linking up again, because this is the part that I think really helps flesh out like a skeleton, right? So people just know you from your book, but then they don't really know much outside of who Paul Lamar Hunter is.
Yeah.
Right. Now we know Paul out there ain't pushing P. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And you know what, Paul? I'm still gonna add the books to the book documentation.
So
and you got
But
one coming
also-
out February and July.
Yeah, but also you add my number or email me because
Okay.
you know
Okay.
what? You called me a cheater. And so I was kind of hurt.
Oh,
and I wanted to cry, but I said, no,
no.
I'm
know
not
what?
going to
not
cry.
today.
you know
Yeah.
what? I do gotta ask that before we leave. Paul, why did you cheat? What happened?
That is a good question.
We gotta know
Let's
that. Like,
end it
what
there.
happened?
And you know what? I'm gonna invite you when we talk about that last book, the book about relationships. I'll invite you to speak on it at the meeting.
Okay.
If you like.
You're still not invited to the book.
Well,
Nah, we crashing the
He's
book
the
club on this.
author.
I'll write some.
you know what really caused me to cheat is
Yeah.
my brother Timothy. I have to tell this story.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead.
I used to get out of school early because I was almost about to graduate, so I didn't have to attend school for the whole 8 hours. I
So
was
you had
there
most
for
of the
like
credits and stuff.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yep, I was there for four hours. So my brother Timothy had his own apartment, and I went over to his apartment. His door was unlocked, but he wasn't there.
Mm.
So 10 minutes later, he came and he said, "I'm glad that you're here." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Today is the day I'm going to make you a man." I said,
Mm.
"Make me a man." He said,
There you
"Yeah,
go.
come on over." He said, "Come on over here." So I went over to the lady's apartment with him, and he told the lady, "This is my baby brother. He's a virgin, and show him the ropes." And I'm
Oh,
like,
my God.
show him the ropes. So this woman was 46 years old, and
Oh.
I'm 16 and a half years old.
Oh,
And so-
You had to
that
throw
is
them half on there.
terrible.
I had sex with the woman, and after I got through, I told my brother, I said, "I ain't never doing this again." And he grabbed me. He said, "Yes, you is, or I'm gonna kick your ass." And I was so scared, and I said to myself, "I ain't never coming over to his house." And so after that incident, I went home. I didn't say nothing to my mom because I didn't want him to get in trouble. But 2 weeks later, I was sitting in the bed and I was thinking about, man, that was a good feeling. That was a very good feeling. So I said, Monday, I'm going back over there. I went over there and it was on from there. And that lady and I, we stayed in a relationship for like 3.5 years. But you know the interesting thing about it, I was in school with her 2 sons.
Oh, shit.
But you know what? That
Wow.
is predatory. And I hear a lot of men saying that their first sexual experience was with a woman that was grown and they were underage. That is rape. And if it were the other way around for a little girl and a man, then they would have his ass under the jail.
Damn right.
Shout
Yeah.
out R. Kelly. So I think
I believe
that
keeping the
is-
same energy.
yeah, that is I think that's terrible. As a mother with a son, that's terrible.
Right?
He gonna get somebody though.
Yeah, he gonna
He gonna tag him
Hopefully
on.
someone his own. It
Nah,
has to be
he-
consensual,
He
right?
gonna find him a little cool.
Yeah.
That because that's traumatic. You were coerced to
Really?
have sex against your will.
So,
But you know what? Looking back on it, it was a great opportunity for me because that woman had taught me a lot
I
about
bet.
women, especially when it comes to pleasing a woman sexually and having real, authentic conversations with women. That's the reason why you should email me and call me.
Mr. Paul, Mr. Paul, I am in a relationship,
Hey.
and I'm not a cheater.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. On the streets, was the women. Some of these women here in San Antonio, Texas, they called me Dr. Feelgood, but I do make house call. So I had.
here you go.
Wow.
So hey, don't
You are
hesitate.
something that I would say you are something else, Mr. Paul, and I enjoyed this conversation. This has really tickled my fancy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's going to be on your mind, so please give me a call.
All right. So we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate you, Paul.
Thank you.
Hey, Four Kings Podcast ENT. Paul Lamar Hunter. That's Paul Lamar Hunter on TikTok, on Instagram.
Okay.
Four Kings Podcast, ENT, Spotify, Google, Apple, YouTube, TikTok. Don't forget the ENT, IG, Facebook. Hit the chat, hit the like, follow, subscribe. Holla at your boy. We got Smart coming up next week. Jay Black, Super Dave, and we got this planning event we got to get to.
Yes.
And we'll
Busy
be
day.
on Wednesday. We'll be on next Wednesday. So look forward to seeing y'all then. Holla at your boy. We're out.
Thank you.